Before that, though, are you doing it in the bedroom or rather not doing it? Research reveal that 1 in 6 couples sleep, Cat Deely, alone. Is it possible to perfect life for partners to have separate bedrooms?
Well, Emma Parsons-Reid and her husband Kevin say sleeping in different rooms is the key to their happy marriage.
However, Linda Lusardi disagrees and says it's detrimental to any relationship. Lovely to see you all this morning.
Morning.
Emma and Kevin, thank you for joining us in your separate bedrooms. Emma, how did this all start?
Well, I've been married a couple of times before and I got used to a gap of having a bed to myself. So when I met the wonderful Kev, my soulmate, we tried very hard to share a bed together. He'd been on his own as well. There was a lot of, kicking out of bed, hotness, snoring, and we just weren't compatible at all sleeping together. I mean, in the bed, actually sleeping. Everything else, perfect. But actually sleeping, it was awful. And we tried everything we could. And in the end, I had to put him on the sofa with the dog when he stayed over. I just said, I can't take any more because I was so bad-tempered the following day with no sleep.
But now you have got separate rooms, but you do communicate. You've got a method of communication should you need him.
Oh, you mean my bell or you mean just shouting?
Oh, well, either. Which one do you find works best, Emma?
Well, for service, like a cup of tea, my bell works. So he'll come and bring me a nice cup of tea, but I just shout otherwise. But, I have my earplugs in at night. I can't hear anything.
Kev, how did you feel when Emma turned round and said, right, I'm really sorry this isn't working, you're going to have to sleep on the sofa with the dog?
No problem at all. As I say, if it made her happy, I didn't care.
So he's not, and there you go. You see, he's happy to make you happy. You need to ring the bell, Emma. Let's get the two of you together. And while you're doing that, and Kevin comes and joins you in your bed, let's come to Linda.
He shook his head as the bell went.
He really does as he's told, doesn't he?
It's Pavlov's dog, essentially.
Look how much nicer her bedroom is than his.
So much nicer.
Very tidy. So, Linda, your concern is, though, separate bedrooms is detrimental to a relationship.
I think so, because you've chosen that person as your partner. You want to be together as much as possible. And I think at bedtime is the time when you have a quiet time, when the kids are put to bed, and it's the time you catch up on your day. I think it's really important. And I'd hate not waking up next to my partner and going to bed and waking up in the morning together. I think it's really important. It helps your relationship, helps you bond. And, I mean, it's not all about sex, but the intimacy of just being under Sam's arm when we're watching TV at night and just chatting about things. I'd really miss that.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things where, because of our schedule here, from Monday to Thursday, I sleep in the guest bedroom, and then the rest of the time, because otherwise I get up at 5 and I want to fall asleep early.
Well, that's logistics.
Schedule.
You can't. You've got an odd job that makes you get up at that, so you have to. But if you don't have to, I mean, I know that she's got a snorer. Yeah. Well, I haven't got a snorer, so I'm lucky. But I do think if you can sleep together, why not?
Yeah.
Let's go back. Kev, how do you navigate the things that Linda's just talking about there? So the intimacy side of things and just the opportunity just to be with Emma and just to have a little cuddle and a chat.
Well, no problem at all, really. End of the night, we can come to bed together for a bit, and then first thing in the morning, I came into bed this morning, so no problem at all.
I'm always up for it.
Emma, does he always have to bring you a cup of tea in order to sort of get access to the bed?
This is aphrodisiac.
But on a weird, it clearly works for them. They clearly love each other. Surely, if it means that she gets a bit more sleep and so does he, it might work out better in the long run.
I'm sure it works out for some people, but I just think separate rooms ends up you having separate lives.
Yeah.
Because you get up and get dressed and get on with your day. The other person might still be asleep. I don't know. You just lose that interaction that I think is really important.
Jan's been in touch. Says, my mum and dad have had separate rooms for 30 years. They celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary last year. Vanessa says, we have had separate duvets for the past few years rather than beds. That's the best thing we ever did. Emma, did you ever try anything like that? So sort of separate duvets so Kev couldn't nick the covers, or you weren't under the same hot duvet?
Or you weren't too hot?
No, he was out. I'm too old to try to navigate it. we obviously, when we go to hotels, we can't afford 2 separate bedrooms, so we have to get really drunk. And we go to sleep then. And we have we try and get a bed a mile long, Yeah, so yeah, I've given up trying to, and he has too, haven't you? And
no problem at all.
We've got a great marriage, and who cares? We're Victorian. We have separate bedrooms.
We can see
separate bathroom would be lovely.
You go.
Yeah, I'd rather have a separate bathroom.
You go separate bathroom.
Yeah.
Kev, what do you say to people? Do your friends obviously know that you have separate beds? What do you say to your friends who sort of question sort of the relationship because you've got separate rooms?
I tell them to mind their own business because it's my business and I shouldn't have to make excuses, say that my marriage is strong. I mean, you're always having to explain yourself all the time, and why should I? What goes on in our house is our business. But I know a lot of my friends, as soon as their children leave home, they've moved into a separate bedroom. People just don't like vocalising it because, as Linda says, it gives the impression that your marriage is over, and in some cases it may well be. But for us and other couples like us, it isn't. We're strong, aren't we? And we're stronger because we have separate bedrooms.
Well, it was interesting when we spoke to Deirdre about this morning, because Deirdre was very like, if it works for you,
Absolutely.
and that's what makes everything tick and work, and it's better for everybody, that's great. But if it's hiding something else, then that's an entirely different...
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, Deirdre? Because you can see from Linda's perspective her take on it, but when you hear Emma and Kev, anecdotally, it works brilliantly for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it's whatever works for you is what's important. The thing that you do have to be wary of, though, is like a partner saying, I really want you to move out because I can't cope with your snoring anymore, when actually what they're not saying is, I don't want to have sex with you anymore. So whatever the underlying issues are, you've got to be prepared to really tackle those, whether it is that you're gonna sleep in the same room, the same bed, or you're not going to. It's just got to be honest with one another and deal with what actually is going on.
Well, I think it works if you're both happy with with that arrangement.
Yeah.
But if you're not, then it must be quite upsetting to be told to your ex-side to the spare room.
It certainly sounds like there's no question that Emma and Kev are still very busy.
Yeah.
When Kev's allowed into the room.
That's a very nice way of putting it.
Yeah, it is. Sharon said, I went to sleep in the spare room after an argument with my husband, and I'm still there 2 years later. The best thing ever. I love having my own room. We've been married for 39 years, and we're very happy. Emma, did you envisage when you got together with Kev, because clearly, as you said, you'd had a couple of partners previously, that this would actually be the making of the relationship, having separate beds?
I think as you get older, you're more... I felt that I could say to him, look, this is not working for me. If I'd have been younger and more impressionable, I would have been scared of upsetting a man. But now I think, no, it's I want what I want. I'm important. I come first. You benefit. Kevin has cancer treatment now, which means he's lost weight. He doesn't snore. I'm menopausal and stopped smoking, and now I snore. So we've reversed the reasons why we sleep apart, and, he wears earplugs now.
You are quite a team. Can we just ask Kevin, how is your treatment going? It's great to see you looking well.
It's going OK at the moment, thank you. Yeah, I've just started immunotherapy again, but it's going OK, thank you.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Well, we were actually running a poll this morning and we were saying, would you sleep in a separate bed to your partner? And it's overwhelming. 63% of people say yes. 37% say no. You're shocked about that.
I am shocked. I am.
Yeah, I think that quite a few people struggle to sleep, and so kind of prioritise that maybe a bit more.
I do think you lose a connection with someone when you're not in the same room. They seem to have a fantastic bond.
They do.
But I do think, I do know people. In fact, my mum and dad, before they passed away, they had separate rooms for many, many years, and they did leave completely separate lives.
Yeah, amazing. Well, it's clearly working for Em and Kev. Thank you for joining us this morning and sharing a little bit of insight into your lives. And, Kev, best of luck with the ongoing treatment as well. Yeah. And keep that tea coming, Kev. That keeps a smile on your face.
Thank you.
And, Linda, lovely to see you.
Thank you
So much.
Russ got in touch and he said separate houses works even better for him, apparently.
Starts with bedrooms, then bathrooms, then houses.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.